Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Roman Reigns sent a two-word message moments before making the walk for his main event at WWE Bad Blood. In the main event of the Premium Live event, Reigns teamed up with Cody Rhodes to face Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline. This was Reigns' first match since losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Rhodes at WrestleMania XL. After being off from WWE television for months, the OTC returned at the SummerSlam Premium Live event, costing Sikoa the chance to win the undisputed WWE Championship. On Instagram, Reigns sent a two-word message before his entrance at Bad Blood. He shared a backstage video of him walking out to the arena. "It's time. #OTC #WWE Bad Blood," wrote Reigns. During his tenure as the leader of the Bloodline, Reigns recruited Sikoa as his enforcer. At Clash at the Castle 2022, Sikoa debuted on the main roster, helping Reigns retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Drew McIntyre. Following Reigns' loss at Mania, Sikoa declared himself as the new Tribal Chief. He recruited multiple new members to the Bloodline, including Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. He also kicked Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman out of the faction for not acknowledging him. The atmosphere inside the arena was electric. It was the night of WWE Bad Blood, a premium live event that promised fireworks, betrayals, and shocking moments. The main event of the evening was one that had captivated the WWE Universe for weeks. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief and undisputed WWE Universal Champion, was set to defend his title against a rising star and crowd favorite. The stakes were higher than ever before, but something more ominous was brewing in the background, a potential shift in the Bloodline that would change the course of WWE history. Backstage, Roman sat alone in his private locker room. His aura radiated dominance, as always, but something was different tonight. His eyes were cold, calculating, as though he was preparing for more than just a match. There was something stirring in the shadows of his mind, a plan, a power play that no one could anticipate. Just moments before the main event, Paul Heyman, his loyal wise man, entered the room, looking more anxious than usual. He always wore an air of nervousness, but tonight, it was palpable. Heyman knew that when Roman's mind was set on something, nothing could stop him. Still, the stakes were higher than they had ever been, not just for Reigns' title, but for the Bloodline itself. "Tribal Chief, the entire world is waiting," Heyman said, almost in a whisper, knowing Roman hated distractions before a big match. Roman didn't respond immediately. He was focused, staring at the WWE Universal Championship draped across his lap. Slowly, he raised his head and looked at Heyman. His silence spoke volumes, but it was what he said next that shook Heyman to his core. "Two words," Roman said softly, his voice calm yet filled with menace. Heyman looked confused. "What do you mean, my Tribal Chief?" Roman rose to his feet, towering over Heyman, his presence imposing and suffocating. His voice dropped to a low growl, and the two words he uttered next sent chills down Heyman's spine. "Acknowledge me." Heyman froze, unsure what Roman meant. Was this another reminder of his place in the hierarchy of the Bloodline, or was it directed at something, or someone, else? Heyman nodded obediently, unsure if he should probe further, but Roman gave him no time to think. "You'll understand soon enough," Roman added with a smirk. "Now go. The ring is waiting." As Heyman left to prepare for the entrance, the camera cut to the arena, where the crowd was buzzing with excitement. They knew something huge was about to happen, but no one knew just how monumental the night would be. Roman's music hit, and the familiar strains of the Head of the Table theme echoed throughout the arena. The boos from the crowd were deafening, but Roman walked with the swagger of a man who knew he was untouchable. His cousins, Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, flanked him, the tension between them almost visible. After Jey Uso's departure from the Bloodline, the group had been fractured, and everyone wondered how long Roman's iron grip on his family could last. As Roman reached the ring, he handed his title to Heyman and stood in the center of the squared circle, microphone in hand. He paused, letting the moment build, before raising the mic to his lips. "Tonight," he began, "you'll all witness what it means to acknowledge me." His words were cryptic, but the intensity in his voice was undeniable. Before anyone could react further, the lights in the arena dimmed. Roman looked up at the entrance, his eyes narrowing, as the opponent's music blared through the speakers. The challenger made his way to the ring, but it wasn't just any challenger. This was someone who had earned the respect of the fans and the locker room alike. Roman had faced many opponents before, but this one felt different. This one posed a legitimate threat. The bell rang, and the match was underway. Roman immediately took control, using his size, power, and cunning to wear down his opponent. But as the minutes passed, it became clear that Roman was not taking his opponent lightly. The challenger fought back, trading blows with the champion in a match that seemed destined to go down in history. The crowd was on the edge of their seats as the two warriors fought tooth and nail, each one desperate to walk away with the title. Roman's dominance was tested like never before. His opponent's resilience was unlike anything Roman had faced in years. Every Superman punch was countered, every spear evaded. Roman was growing frustrated, and his eyes kept darting toward Solo and Jimmy, who were watching from ringside. Suddenly, a miscommunication between Roman and Solo led to the challenger taking advantage and nearly pinning Roman after a devastating finisher. The crowd exploded as the referee's hand came within inches of the mat for a 3 count. Roman barely kicked out, and the look on his face said it all. He had underestimated his opponent. But Roman wasn't done yet. His frustration turned into fury, and he unleashed a brutal onslaught, hitting a spear so vicious it seemed to break his opponent in half. He went for the cover, but just as the referee's hand was about to hit the mat for the 3rd time, the lights in the arena flickered. Confusion spread throughout the crowd as the flickering lights gave way to complete darkness. The WWE Universe gasped in anticipation. When the lights came back on, standing at the entrance was none other than Jey Uso. The arena erupted in shock. Jey, who had walked away from the bloodline weeks ago, was now back, and the look on his face was one of pure vengeance. Roman stood frozen in the ring, his face a mixture of disbelief and anger. Jey didn't say a word as he slowly walked down the ramp, his eyes locked on Roman. Roman backed away, unsure of what was about to happen. As Jey entered the ring, Roman dropped the mic he had been holding, and the two stared each other down. The tension was unbearable, the history between them thick in the air. Suddenly, without warning, Jey grabbed the microphone, looked Roman dead in the eyes, and uttered the same 2 words Roman had said earlier. "Acknowledge me." Roman's eyes widened in shock, but before he could react, Jey hit him with a superkick that sent the tribal chief sprawling to the mat. The crowd went wild as Jey stood over Roman, his message loud and clear: the bloodline would never be the same again.